When I wrote the Cernuomicon for young King Demetrius, I found that it wasn't just Demetrius the Bard that defined his family by reaching upward. The Rorikids themselves were always reaching above their station, always pushing to become greater. And even to some degree, the Cernu, they fought hard to preserve Breton ways in Britain when the Anglo-Saxons came and pushed out all of the older houses. They still remained tenacious, strong, proud. Those words would describe, I think, King Demetrius better than any other that I could think to bless him with. Hello and welcome, connoisseurs of Crusader Kings 3, friends of the channel and newcomers alike. We are here once again with King Demetrius. Yes, young King Demetrius, well, middle-aged King Demetrius. We're already 40, but that's pretty much the flow of the game. If your characters die at the age they're supposed to, around 60, your kids are usually in their late 30s, mid-30s when they get started. So we're 5 years into our time with King Demetrius already. There's one thing I wanted to do before we lose the chance to. It was something I had in mind because of a suggestion someone made. I always forget that this new activity was added to the game, and I really think it's appropriate for us to do more of them, and that's the funeral. It's quite expensive, but I think it's worth it. If we put it off, we will lose our father as a funeral person because they only stay on here for so many years, and he's already just at the top, so he's going to be pushed off pretty soon. So we're going to do a funeral for our father. We're going to do it for mourning. We can't afford to do extravagant ceremonies, so we're just going to do regular ceremonies. This will also help us get some of that legitimacy we hunger for, you know, especially after making a major conquest in territory that we have a historical claim to, but others might say don't belong in the Kingdom of València. So let's do it. Let's do this funeral. Hopefully everyone comes. Funeral arrival. Montaneos is to be when Hendon's final resting place, and I am left alone to gather my thoughts and prepare for the arrival of the honored mourners. I'll never forget him. This is our niece. This is Count Robert, of course. He is the husband of our sister and newly made count. Almost made him a duke, but then I realized that it probably should go to someone who is a little closer to Huppold's line, and we gave it to Hugh Joffrey. It's Huppold's middle son. Well, youngest son, second son, one of his middle children. Mostly because the child who held it previously was a child and I couldn't choose him and I had to put someone on there. We're getting pretty good attendance here. So our brother has decided both to not attend, which is his want. If he doesn't want to come, he doesn't have to. But also to make a cadet branch, which is fine. It's a weird name. Bardo Cruz. We'll fix this for him. We'll fix that for him, for sure. I will make sure that he has a better crest and name than that, I think. Okay, so our brother, we have given him a proper house. We're calling it Querngeld because I thought that would be cute. It's like slightly Spanish, beginning of Cernu, ended with guild, so as in covered in gold. I think it's a cool, weird little name, and I like it. And his new sigil is the 3 crowns of Cernu, plus the Rorikid cross, which I think is really cool. I think it looks good. That's why we did it. It looks really neat. It has a nice symmetrical balance to it, and we don't have that quartering thing going on. You know, quartering I think is more for later. Early on, all the houses should have their own unique symbols simply because we need to differentiate them. Particularly the houses that come from Cernu need to have their own symbols because they'll get lost, right? Because they won't be known to be associated with each other except through their house symbols being the same. They'll get lost inside of the Várdos pile. They probably won't right away. They'd be like hundreds of years, especially since Cernu has become the dominant house right now. There's only one current count who is a Várdos, which means playing his family line is even more interesting to me. He's a cool guy. It's unlikely he'll still be alive when we switch to next generation, but you know, he's got a son. His name's Radoslav. He's pretty cool. It's too bad that they're out of diplomatic range, because I think it would be really cool if we invited his children here to be taught, right? Like if the game would just let us bring his children here to be taught, they could like grow up in our court, but then go back and do stuff. I might just make that happen, because I think it'd be really cool if the Count's son grew up in València, in the first great kingdom of House Várdos. You know, there are ways that I can make that happen. Like I could just send the kid to us. I don't know. we'll figure out whether we're gonna do anything like that later. Although we should do it soon because it's gonna grow up. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe he'll do well where he is, right? Although his father didn't do that good. They're probably not developed enough to get good town maven traits. That's fine. He's got an Attila and a Radoslav. That's pretty cool, actually. Family epic, honesty and perception. My Chancellor Mazdig is reading my family epic as it's slowly coming together. A lot of it is not very plausible, such as the part with the ox. Demetrius did fight an ox, actually. He did, in fact, on a journey someplace up around Italy here, fight off an ox in order to preserve the life of one of his people. So you don't be saying that story's fake. That story is 100% true. I think we'll be as truthful as possible. You know, the ox story stays in because it's the truth, but we're not going to exaggerate. We don't need to. Demetrius the First, our grandfather, was just an excellent man, right? He traveled the entire world. We have a book on it, and that book is a well-trusted source of information, all right, which needs to be repaired. So the next time we have 75 gold, that's what it's going to go to. Family epic. Pride of the family. My brother, Infante Udallard, seems to be the latest person to have read excerpts from my family epic. Your great-great-grandfather was a fascinating and resourceful figure. If we let it be known that you are even half as underhanded as he, people would think twice before acting against you. I mean, I don't shy away from family history. And if my great-great-grandfather was a snake, then he's a snake in the book. So it seems that the researcher has discovered that our great-grandfather was something of a snake, much like Demetrius, your grandfather. Not Yaroslav the Wise. Yaroslav the Wise was known to be a just man. No, on the Cornish side. Yes, quite the poisoner. Huh. Well, I mean, it makes sense. My father was quite deceptive himself. Deceptive and honest at the same time somehow. Well, it's a book about the truth, and so the truth shall be written even if it isn't as shiny as I might have hoped. And if that makes people think I'm a little bit more threatening, that's not deceitful. I never said I was as threatening as him. I simply said that he was threatening. Funeral, I remember him. So here we are at our father's funeral. In the corner of the church, I overhear Mayor Rainer of Amposta chatting with a group of mourners. He somberly gestures me over. We all have fond memories of King Wenhenden of València. I was just thinking about the time I took up the mantle of a distinguished accolade and became known among the knights. Tell me, have you any memories to share? Oh yeah, he was one of the knights before. He still is my knight. He does not like me at all. That is not my fault though. I mean, it is my fault. Well, mostly it's because the Catholicism is evil thing, which is a difficult thing to overcome, and why, generally speaking, you convert people, because they absolutely do not appreciate that you don't. But that's not a thing. We're gonna take a second to look at our accolades because he reminded us, just to make sure we got. Oh yeah, we got that one-eyed blade master in there now. I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, they're all fine. Yes. So memories. The memories are too painful. So this is me keeping it to myself. Gives me some piety. How could I forget? Okay, this is not a competition. So yeah, we'll tell a story about something great that happened between me and my father when he gave me my sword and my book and told me that if I wanted to fight, I could, but I needed to train. That's the memory we'll talk about. When I became a knight. That's the story. And so the glorious King Wenhenden, then still a duke, selected me among all of his knights in order to serve in his very first accolade. Bravo, sir, bravo! But you know, I also have a famous story about my father. When I came to him in my youth and stated to him that I enjoyed dueling and that I wanted to fight, he became somewhat concerned, and out of the greatness and generosity of his heart, he gave me, his father, my grandfather's book on the Norse military arts and the sword that he himself had been given many years before. And he said to me, "Go forth, my son, and serve as a knight. It is a just and honorable thing that you intend to do, and it will give you a great deal of learning that you will need for when you are one day king here." And I will always remember that day and miss the look of love he had in his eyes for me. The mourners moved through the halls weeping in a kind of macabre dance, all for King Wenhenden of València, the unsettling silence of people holding back what they so desperately wished to do. Silent screams never to part their lips, hard-fought battles against tears being lost, so ashamed of their own grief. I rise to my feet, allowing myself to get lost in the dance with my fellow mourners. I must remain strong. Ah yes, that Catholic stoicism, a virtue to some, a hindrance to others. What kind of meat is this, so rich in flavor? What are these vegetables? Almost sweet, and oh, these wonderful little desserts. The feast has some of the best food I've ever tasted. Okay, so we are enjoying the food. Oh, we got life reaffirmed. That makes sense. You know, as we're thinking about darkness, we eat the food and it reminds us that life is worth living, that we should go on beyond our father, that he lived a good, long life. He is like the transition, you know? He grew up most of his life in the court, but he remembered as a boy the time of the camp, right? What an excellent man he was. So delightful. Ah, it's good. The sorrowful line marches on, the line to have the last moment with King Wenhendon of València, a last whisper, a last long goodbye, a last nothing, at the last place anyone will ever see him. Truly a privilege it is to be here. The line brings me ever closer until, at last, the figure in front of me parts. There's nothing but a veil between me and him. A quiet bow, and I part. Make a speech promising to rule in his honor. Speak of his virtues. I'm going to make the speech promising to rule in his honor, because that's how I feel. Crowd is moved. Epic, eternal obligations. It seems that Ricardo has been reading parts of my new family epic. Of course, he has discovered discrepancies between promises made in the past and our current reality. I can tell that he will not let it go anytime soon. Surely you can see how wise and benevolent it would be to fulfill your forebear's promise even now? Okay, where is to rule? There. My ancestors were pious but not necessarily wise. We're going to think about this. So where are we on control tasks? There's work to do in Castellan. Okay. We are still on the islands doing work. We will keep our promises even to our detriment. Control is something we can regain later. Oh, we've gained a level of devotion. We are now... No, that's not right. We are now a devoted servant. Nice, and we're getting close to illustrious as well. I gaze upon King Wenhendon of València in quiet contemplation, interrupted only by the occasional well-wisher offering their sympathies. Sycophant, knave, you dare call yourself a king? Oh, Cecilia. Furious finger waving inches from my face. King Wenhendon of València had designs for me. Come on now. You know that's not true. You're just angry. You'll get over it. Okay, I know, but I know. The grief of the uncle. Hunched beside me, bereft of any pretense of propriety, the inconsolable Hugh Joffre gazes out into the nothingness before him. Not a tear falls from his eyes, not a word passes his mouth, until he turns to me. God can be cruel indeed. Why does the wind still yet blow? Why does the sea continue its push to the shore? Why does my body ache for food and thirst for water? The end times is upon us, my uncle is dead. Now remember, we must not let grief overwhelm us. While there is life, there is always hope. I will try to reassure him, and he is comforted. All eyes fall upon València as she falls to the ground in lamentation, hands coating her reddened eyes from view. Valencia's sorrowful gasps and chokes have left her fellow mourners breathless, and many offer her comfort and reverence, as if it were her who was to be committed to the hereafter. Can only mourn in my own way. I will offer comfort. Yes, I will offer comfort to my sister. Of all the figures venerated and villainous, none have been desired more than our departed King Wenhendon of València. With his crowd of weepers and gawkers finding other subjects to satisfy their fascination, I am at last left with a moment of solace between myself and my father. Time for a quiet prayer. I will allow myself a moment of grief. Promise to be a better king. Unrelenting devotion. I am going to promise to be a better king. I'm going to work hard to be the best king that I can be. Ooh, we've passed 3 legitimacy. Nice. I and the other mourners take reprieve from our grief to enjoy a great bounty of food. Cecilia, usually the lifeblood of any feast, now sits across from me misty-eyed with untouched goblet at her side. How can we make ourselves fat and merry in times like these? Are we to satisfy our hedonistic desires while Wenhendon has none? Join me, empty your goblets in libation. I could join the offering, I could spurn the offering. I don't think that's what this means. I think that this is giving everyone drinks to not drink. I am going to join the offering, I think. I think that's correct. An excellent epic. All right, so we have the Cernua Chronicon. Difficult to say. We have a new court artifact that gives us some personal scheme chance and some enemy hostile scheme phase length. Oh, that's pretty good. Makes it a little harder for people to do mean things to us and makes it a little easier for us to do nice things for others. This might be the greatest chronicle ever written, absolutely. Just toss that into the pile of renown as our family starts to become more known. We are noteworthy and soon to be reputable. Well, not soon, but you know. Let's, before we go on with this, place the new book into the throne room. There we go. Good, and then we will go on with the funeral. The shadow of mourners no longer loom over me, and I am at last given a moment alone. What quiet comfort I could take in such a moment without the rattling and prattling of other guests in my ears. Just me and my thoughts of King Wenhendon of València. It feels good. Yeah, it feels good. It's nice to see that most people showed up, although it's a little daunting that my brother didn't come. I understand. I suppose I understand. There's no reason to take offense. What is this? I feel a quiet calm wash over me, gazing around the room of mourners. Some eyes are strained red, while others see this as like any other cause for gathering. One soul, however, looks at me with uncertainty and tugs at my side. This is Oliba. Okay. My nephew Oliba does not weep openly, but does not seem unmoved like many other children present. King Demetrius of València, what happened to Wenhendon? Why is everybody sad? Oof, this is Cecilia's son. Well, I'm too honest to just dismiss it, so I'm going to tell him that he is in heaven now. Well, can't always work out, right? I think we're going to keep this person as our friend and she can join our court. She did write an excellent book after all, so that we can put in expand the library of books written by our family. We have now gained a level of glory. We are illustrious, moving towards exalted among men. Now the time has come to commit King Wenhendon of Valencia's final rites before his final journey into the hereafter. Wenhendon's enshrined body is held suspended above an open grave, surrounded by close friends and family. Stood at his head is you, a privileged place of mourning afforded only to the magnanimous host. Beautiful. Yes. Oh, I think that helped get past the death of our father, and I think it also helped to convince people that, you know, our claims are legitimate. This is the true borders of the Kingdom of Valencia, as they should always be. Unless someday someone decides to try to go for Aragon, I don't know. That's not a me thing, though. I don't have any intent towards doing that right now. Let's see. And we are home. Okay. Is this? I'm not. No. I'd rather just get stronger. You're a Christian. I should be able to depend on your Christian justice to keep us safe from you. I mean, I say that knowing that Aragon couldn't, but that's only because he holds stuff that belonged to me, and I don't hold anything that belongs to you. Okay. So now we need money. We were thinking of doing a university visit as well, but that's a lot of money away at this point. What is the yellow one? Oh, generously. Child benefits from spouse's tutelage. Oh, good job. Befriend the estate. So I have become friends with my cousin. The trip was worth the wait. Good, let's pause. Who is educating you? Still me? You want to be learned? I think we can find you a better, or maybe make you a steward. Let's find you a better educator for a steward, okay? So we will remove me as your guardian. We will find you a new guardian. That guardian is someone who would be a good steward guardian. Our knight can do it. He's perfectly suitable. That's fine. We'll do that. And you know what else we're going to do? Just out of the generosity of the court, we're going to find all of the court children, and we're going to make sure everybody has a guardian. So do you have a guardian? No. You are curious. You've chosen diplomacy. Let's find you a guardian, a diplomat. My aunt could do it. This knight could do it. He is Norse. Norse have the bonus that they give extra good educations. That's fine. You know, making different members of the court responsible for other people's children is actually a good way to create unity. This is my nephew, Olivia. He needs a guardian. He would like to be learned. We can give him to our brand new friend, the nun. And she'd do an excellent job. Okay, good. This courtier, she's very young. Let's see. Educate child. Somebody who's just generally good. So sum of all skills is good for a child who's just like generally looking for a good education. The wet nurse also makes a lot of sense. What is your culture? Your Occitan. No, she can keep her culture. I would have considering changing her culture if it was a Catalan. This is one of the girls who's being taught by the tutor, so one of the ones we already did. This is actually one of our hostages. This is our son. This is our new daughter. This is Hugh. He is the son of the of the knight who really likes us now. The former peasant leader who had problems with our father. He is not being educated by anybody. He should probably be martial like his father, and logically then we would have his father educate him because his father is a good martial character. Good. Let's just finish the list out. This is our nephew. He is also being trained already, I think. Yep, by the physician. And our daughter, who there we go. All of the children in the court now have proper tutors. We should be checking in on that every once in a while so that we don't let that go. We should maybe marry our knights too. Adult, female, unmarried. Yeah, our mother doesn't need to be married. Cecilia, though, she needs a spouse. Let's see. I mean, we do have a lot of low knights, like in the 8s, so a good knight might be nice. Someone close to her age. We have this Maghrebi Christian. That's a little weird, considering she isn't Christian. I could try to find her someone of her own faith. The guy's too old, but he is the right faith. This guy is a little older than her, but not too much. Andalusian, correct faith, terrible fighter, but a good commander, truth be told. We can always use more good commanders. Sure, we'll do that. And let's marry our knights now. This is my knight. He needs a wife. He is a Russian and Orthodox. Don't need to be that selective, though. She'll do fine. This is our courtier, Eric. We don't necessarily need to marry every courtier off. Well, there's no reason to actually not do a thing. We don't want to marry him to a mayor, though, because then he'll leave. Though I don't know that that's important either, since he's just some random guy. Here's another knight. Maybe we can marry our knights for future hopes, right? For traits. For example, that would be good. Ramon does not have a wife. That seems fine. This is my nephew. Archbishops don't get married. This is my knight, 51 years old. Marry him to this 36-year-old. And my last knight here, the new 29-year-old one-eyed blade master. Married him to... I'd prefer somebody strong. That girl is 14. That woman is too old. I mean, I guess I could marry him to the 14-year-old. It's a little untoward. They'll have to wait 2 years for her to show up. I mean, she's only hale. What's this 14-year-old? The robust one. Okay, excellent. We can hold court again, which we absolutely will. Sitting on my throne, I gesture for my guards to open the doors of the hall. A stream of people file in, some lining up in front of my throne, while others move out of the way so they can simply observe the proceedings. Gesture for the first in line to approach. It seems my vassal, Mayor Abid al-Baki, has been nursing a temper while awaiting odds. My lord, I cannot abide your tolerance of infidels like Mayor Rainer in the realm, even amidst the nobility. This is strange. So you converted. And now you're complaining that we're giving free reign to our other mayor who also converted. So you switch sides. I'm not going to forcibly convert him. I am not going to convert to his faith. I can judge him by their quality, not their beliefs. All faiths are welcome in my kingdom. That is the actual truth. Something you should be aware of, sir, because your faith was tolerated forever. Then you gave it up, and now you're mad that other people didn't change their minds? Dude, that's that is hypocritical plus. Like, no. All faiths are welcome here. A provincial merchant steps forward, clearly out of his element in my rich hall. Come, man, we don't have all day. Yes, my lord, he stammers. I am Renard, representing the disgruntled traders and freemen of Alcoy, Denia's greatest city. Vermond, our mayor, is a barrier to commerce and the town's interests. We humbly ask he be replaced by someone else. So what you're saying is, you want his job. We will lose development progress, and we meddle civically. We don't like that. And what does he have to say? So we can ask him what he has to say. That will lower our development if we fail it. If we succeed it, though, it'll be a big chunk of gold, but he'll lose opinion. We can't compensate the town's merchants. We can't really affair it. How dare you question the king's mayor? No, I think we're going to see what he has to say. If not proved us down, okay. Well, as it goes sometimes. Before me stands my cousin Duke Hugh Joffrey, his head hung low. My lord, Tarragona has been hit hard by recent raiding and looting. The people are starving, our fields are not recovering, and our livestock is not enough to survive anymore. We beg you to intervene and save your devoted subjects with your great magnanimity. I can give them tax relief. I could send Cecilia to do it. She becomes their official inspector. I lose my inexpensive, i.e. free, steward. I think we're going to give them the tax relief. Let's give them the tax relief. Tax relief it is, Hugh. Tax relief it is. All right, let's first do something we've been talking about, which is fix the book, because it would be a grievous tragedy for this book to break. Okay, and now we're gonna move on with our next befriending. I'm gonna try to make amends with our sister over her outburst first, our older sister. Well, younger than us, but older than our youngest sister. And then we will befriend our youngest sister next, I think. Because our youngest sister we've already succeeded on once, and we're on a timer with her, right? Yeah. Shadow of Fame, Daylight. A long time has passed since I decided to focus on emulating the fame of my dead father, even longer since his death. It is stressful and demanding to step out of his shadow. I still feel the world judging me not by my deeds alone, but always in comparison to King Wenhenden. I know I am respected, but is it enough? What more can I do to be remembered? To be more than my father was ever. We are equal now, father? I am so sorry for my outburst, Demetrius. I don't know what got into me. Do not apologize, Cecilia. I have already forgiven you. I understood that you spoke out of turn, and I think I understand the feeling. Oh? You think you understand the feeling, do you? Yes. You know, father always seemed like such a shining and perfect beacon to me, and I spent my entire life trying to be what it was he wanted me to be, while also trying to wrest out of his shadow who I was myself. And I think at the time I desired to be him, to have his things. But now I realize that his own father was the same shadow over him. Demetrius I was a famous and powerful man, and our father, Wenhenden, built a kingdom in the world out of the images in his own mind. And that leaves us hungry for what he had, but also wanting to know who we are, I think. Thank you for your understanding, my brother. I will try to be more reasonable in the future. So this gains me Shadow of Fame Dusk. My prestige gain goes down by 25%, but I get tons of stress gains. Or I can just, these are permanent traits, by the way. I can just get the stress forever in exchange for huge monthly prestige. I think we're gonna take the stress down. I think that's more valuable over the long run than 25% prestige. We could regret that maybe, but right now, I think it's good. Let's see. Nothing we want to do to him right now. We literally just lowered his taxes. We're not gonna do anything about that. So we are working on there. I should ask him. Let's look at our faith actually. So he's working on that. We're getting this kind of done finally. Our brother was supposed to be working on faith, but I don't know that he is. I mean, he probably is. It just takes forever, right? I'm gonna get you to I think promote culture. Yes, I think that's right. Once we change over, the places that match our culture will probably change with us, but the ones that don't will have no chance to change with us, so that's a thing. All of our development is good though, so we're not really worried about that. We're at 35%, which means we're getting pretty close. A couple more years, really. 5% more is not hard to get. And then we can do something with our steward that isn't just working on our cultural convergence. There we go. There's that completed county control task. We'll now start working on our own territory. Wait, no, that's not right. That's our brother's territory. Here, I think, is what we work on next. Well, he ends first teething, so he's a little old for that, but that's because we got the wet nurse slate, and it doesn't really care how old they are. We will let him keep his tooth as a good luck charm. I think that's fine. Yeah, we're doing a great job, but we got strong legitimacy, you know? Could be better, but it is good. We're definitely above our expected legitimacy for a king with our domain size. Let's see how Aragon is doing. They're basically falling apart. Partially, that's probably our part. Gift artifact. You're sending me this useless brooch. Okay, I don't even know who you are, but I don't think I would refuse the gift of someone who clearly just means well, right? So that's good. It's just prestige, really, which is fine. We're still holding our manual of arms. I don't think we'll ever really get rid of that. But I think we will sell this old gem for a little bit more cash on hand. So your opinion is starting to change of me. Do you want my help? So what does your war look like, sir? So it is a tyranny war against this literal child who's really getting above himself. It's a Yemeni Catholic. I don't know where you found a Yemeni Catholic, but that's kind of hilarious. It's because your your husband was Yemeni. This could be a way of making peace with him after the incident, you know? Let's offer military assistance. Let's see if he'll take our help. I mean, it was 100%, so he will. Let's move our troops up right onto the border of the territory that we're after. He probably won't have to pay us because it's going to be a little difficult. They're not that strong. I think we'll just raise our men-at-arms, because I think that'll be enough. We'll see how it looks once it's raised. Yeah, that's enough. So let's intercept him here. We might have one of those weird things where we pass, but it doesn't look like it. We're gonna win this battle, and we're gonna do the siege here. Befriend goodwill. All right, I will promise. The promise will be official. Okay. Gains a weak hook on us. I think I'm okay with that. So the promise will be official and ceremonious. So I give her an offered favor. Don't really need to do this, but it's my sister, so I am willing to offer her a favor. Nope, we captured some people. I have a new son. Oh, look at him. What is his name gonna be? Vladimir. A Vladimir? Yeah, let's have a Vladimir. That name comes out of nowhere. I mean, technically, it isn't a local name, but it's definitely a worthwhile name. So how much have we contributed yet? The likelihood that we contribute enough for him to pay us is so small, but I'm still doing it because it felt right to do, right? We're not going to spend that much money on this war, so daughter has learned Iberian Bulgar. Our troops are helping with the siege. I am going to... No, that's not right. Not split in half. We're going to do a proper split. When we do the proper split, we're going to leave him our mangonels just to help him get the siege done faster. And then I don't think we have a siege guy. No, so just anyone will do. And then we will take the actual force and we'll try to get this army here. Barcelona. This section over here is also in rebellion. Let us go. New diplomacy perk available. We never did make an official decision if we were staying here or not, so I guess this is the official decision, right? This makes befriends faster when you already have befriend. I think we're going to go down the heart of the family side first. We're going to check our prison. You can be ransomed. The rest of you will stay till the end. Hopefully we will remember to check you on time this time. We can demand a payment from him. It's really going to be up to them to decide whether or not they do this. Did my brother die? My brother died. What did my brother die of? Oh, he died in a horse riding accident. Why are you out riding horses fast when you can't see? That's a very predictable way to die when you're very young. Love these. I absolutely love the city line. Just free traits. Free traits for all children. That's what it is. So you are now the Duke of Mercia. You are not a suitable spy master replacement. You're not really good at anything. You're trusting. Almost feels like we should be able to befriend you because you're trusting and we're loyal, but it's not enough. You are a handsome young man. You already like us full. There's not much we can do except try to find you a position in the council, and there's nothing you're really suited towards. I mean, we'll get better at martial in time. Feels kind of bad if we take our man off of it though, but he is getting old and it might be time for him to retire. I think so. I mean, he'll get the extra bonus from... Actually, he won't because he's left the house. No longer part of our house. And we don't have that one yet anyway. That's the second one, not the first one. Well, still, let's do it. Let's do it. We need to find a spy master who's actually decent. This knight is passably good, the one-eyed blade master. So we'll put him in. That should be good for now. Our other powerful vassals appear to mostly be managed, except this mayor who's mad at us. Our father's friend. I mean, I don't think we're gonna do anything right away to deal with it. He should be respecting that we are our father's son, you know. But we will eventually maybe try to make peace with him. We can sway him, I think. I didn't actually check to see if we have opposed traits, to be fair. We may not even be able to sway him. Made a friend. Celia, my sister, is now my friend. Nice. Okay, that feels good. Now we want to befriend our youngest sister, but it may still be on cooldown for her. It is for a long time, so we'd have to do an event like a hunt or something if we want to befriend her, which I think is reasonable. We might do that. Probably would be a feast though, because we feel more like a feaster than a hunter. Our son has learned a language. How are we doing on actually getting the score we need? Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, you can start a siege in Barcelona. Good job. My wife, making things good, helping everything, helping us maintain a good court. Ransom accepted. Oh, we're gonna get it for sure. We're gonna get it with 2 sieges happening. Yeah, I think so. Still at 50%. This siege is important. I don't think we're gonna be able to finish it in the 1 siege, so starting it off will be good. But without our siege engines, it's not gonna be an easy siege. It's fine. We're working on all that stuff already. Good. You know, this is just our way of saying it was never personal, right? It's never personal. So this is a metalsmith. She wants to forge a goblet. She's very competent. How much will it cost? Sure, I'll sponsor an artisan. It's nice to make the court better, right? Oh, yeah, she did. We did get one from our wife improving herself. So now we can hold 6. Not that there's anything we would hold. We have our entire duchy, and that's really what we want to focus the family on for now anyway. There's that. Oh, we're at 100%. Did we get it? Ah, we did. 981. You owe us 130 gold, sir. I hope you have it. If you don't, you don't. My cousin has been imprisoned as a result of what I did. Yes, offering military assistance ends. Nice. Let's disband all. It was a bit of mercenary work, true, but, you know, good relations with our neighbors. And supporting the Christian kings in the north is a big deal because while we are strong, Aragon is not, and part of that's our fault. And then Castile is basically becoming the dominant force in the region. Very strong. Eventually, we're going to either have to accept them or contest them or possibly lose to them. Inspiration, considered opinion. My background has some unique insights. This would give her a slightly higher quality, right? An 88% chance. I have a few suggestions. That's not good. She knows what she's doing. I leave her alone. No, we'll take the chance. My ideas work out well. Good. The apple falls. Lately, I've been pondering the education of my son, William. Yeah, that's fine. We're not shaping him in our image. A varying set of skills is only good. This helps him with his martial focus. Who is his... Oh, yes. The knight. Violet's first enrobing. Ah, Violet. I think we can make her the Prince of Fashion of this generation. I only like to give that title out once per generation, because sometimes it gets really spammy, but it's definitely worth doing it once. We can ransom this guy, which is good. Our mail is starting to get a little bit iffy, so we will repair it. It is expensive, but worth it. Don't want to use that hook. We have another one of these. It's my guess. He's merely decent. Decent is probably lower than our willingness to support. And this is the marriage between our knight and that girl. Excellent. Hope probably doesn't want to give us money because he thinks we're too rich, or he just straight up doesn't like us. Oh, he does like us. Oh, it's on time down for a couple of months more, after which point he may just do it. So that's good. Might get some Pope money soon. Pay ransom. Okay, that's good. Let's check out our prison before we forget. This guy cannot be ransomed. He is allowed to go. Goodbye, sir. This guy, I think I just ransomed this guy off. You are a decent knight. You are one-legged. You're pretty young, though. Catholic, Aragonese. Sure, you can join the team. This guy is Catholic, Andalusian. About the same as the last guy. Lisping and scarred. Sure, you can join the team. And this guy's not really talented, so you can go. Good luck to you all. I feel like we've been very successful. You know, I feel like this has been a successful series of years. The Pope money is oh, our physician has died. Our dwarf physician and court tutor has died. The first thing I want to do is check to see if there is a family member who can do this job adequately. I mean, he's my nephew, but he's not the right kind of nephew. This is the nun. I think we give the job to her. She's only average to begin with, but she'll probably gain skill in time. It makes a lot of sense to me, right? So let's now find a new tutor. See anybody who's related to me. It's more likely we're going to find people who are good at these jobs who are related to us later, once we've had more children. Oh, Infantia is average. I'm sorry, Infanta Flora, I should say, my sister, she's Flora, is average. That's probably fine, right? They do get a bonus, right? They do the job better when they're family members. So as for an antiquarian, do we have anybody who's good at this job? The nun, nobody in the family. Do we want to add antiquarian? I mean, it's only 22, right? Let's do that. Okay, that's fine. We should check the kids that it was his job to take care of. I think they're probably aged up, but it's good to check anyway. She's not quite aged up, but it looks like the boy is. I mean, how close is she? Let's just have her own father educate her for the end, if he's here. He doesn't appear to be here. Who would be a good steward educator? Ramon can do it then, just for a bit, just to finish it up. And that leaves us, I think, in pretty good stead. Our alliance with Brittany has finally ended. If we were to try to reestablish this alliance, we would need to marry his 1-year-old daughter to our 0-year-old son. They're pretty inbred. He doesn't like it. because she's currently his heir. All right, well, that alliance is dead then. We will replace it or find a way to reestablish it later. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Duke Wenhenden II, what's going on? You need help? It's a tyranny war? You need help? Can't do it because you're my vassal. That's fine. Figured that was the case. Figured that was the case. Potential alliances. Yeah, that's never going to be. The Count, though, will have an alliance with us, which is good. We're still doing control casks as we're supposed to. Got ourselves up to 3,000 troops because of our territory being well managed. I would like to get more troops, but we wanted to go to university first. Inspiration, name to remember. So in the memory of our brother, yeah, that's absolutely true. We would absolutely do that. He died riding a horse too fast when he was blind. I don't even know what else to say about that. Duke Dyer was granted the Duchy of Pomerania. Good for him. It's nice to hear news about successful adventurers. Inspiration up late. No, adultery is a sin. Who do you think we are? We are not our father. We reject our... Well, I mean, our father rejected his ways too, so we're being unfair to our father. But we're not our grandfather. No. No. Look, you're here to make a goblet. That is the only thing that you can do for me. That is the only thing I want from you. Make the goblet, please. So we are moving from opportunity mostly towards conciliation, it looks like, but it could change. The kingdoms are a little stable right now, though. We'll just take this money now. I don't want to take too much from him, right? We probably should also have a best friend. Fully grown. My hostage is now a woman and looking forward to being sent home in the custom. As is custom, her father, Emir Abid al-Rahman, will certainly be hoping as much. Perhaps it is indeed better to maintain goodwill, at least while my niece remains. It is time to go home. Did we do a good job? We did a decent job educating her. She did not fail in her education. I mean, she's not that good at the stat, but that doesn't mean that we failed her education. A level 3 education is quite good. Awaited return. There must be a good reason. I mean, she's not come of age yet, so it's not that insulting that he kept her, because you don't usually send them home till they come of age, right? I mean, I don't even know when she is going to come of age. She is your daughter, right? Yes, county control task completed. Let's continue with that to Castellon. Oh, my mother has died. Goodbye, mother. You were a good woman for all your hatred of Muslims and your sometimes overbearing ways. You will be missed. Our son is going to be coming of age soon. He did okay in Marshall independently, right? He's going to lose 2 points, one for his education and one for being rowdy, which will put him at 9. Meaning if he gets an average education, he'll be at 13, and if he gets a good education, he'll do much better than that. I think he'll get a good education, though. He did at least one education boost event. His educator is good, so probably get a 3. Hopefully he gets a 3. He is compassionate, fickle, and a brave. Interesting traits. Not bad at all, kid. Good job, kid. Awaited return. So he did, in fact, return her, as I would have expected, when she came of age. That was this guy, right? I'm not good at that. I am not good at learning. We can ask our head of faith for gold. That's what we were waiting for. Good, good, good. Which means next episode, at the ripe old age of 43, we are going to go on a university trip, prove our education, be more learned of the world, I think. I think that makes perfect sense for what we would do. Founding a holy order sounds cool too, but that'll have to happen later. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you join us in that next episode where we go to university. Things seem to have been going pretty good for Demetrius. We have a nice, stable kingdom, and hopefully it stays that way for the rest of our days. Goodbye for now.